So Grammarly is a free piece of software which is going to support you with checking for errors in your writing, spelling errors, errors with grammar. There's a version for Microsoft Office that will plug into Word and Outlook. There's a desktop version for Macs and PCs. There are web plugins that check your emails as you're writing them or any forms that you're filling out online. There's even a new Grammarly phone keyboard that links into your Grammarly account. We're going to mainly be looking at the free version today, although there is a paid version. The free version is excellent though, and the idea is that you could log into any of these different services, and if you had added specific spellings to your Grammarly account, those are going to be distributed across all the different versions of Grammarly that you might access, either on site at Imperial College London or at home on your own computer. So first I'm going to talk about the way that you might want to use these tools on site at university, but then I'm going to show you a few examples of how you can set up Grammarly programs at home and also give you an idea of what extras you get in the paid Grammarly subscriptions. So this is probably the easiest way to use Grammarly on site at Imperial College London. Actually, just go to the Grammarly website, set yourself up with an account and make sure that you log in, and then you're going to see this interface. And just to demonstrate, if I click on apps at the side, we've got some other options as well. There is a version which you can install for Microsoft Office, for Word and Outlook, and download to Windows as well. These are probably not options you're going to be able to access on site at Imperial College London, but you probably can install the Grammarly for Chrome plugin, which I have just up in the top right hand corner and I'm going to talk about later on. What you might want to do though is start your work in a Word document. Make sure that's available to you when you get to university if you want to continue working on it. And one quick way of doing this is just making sure that all your work is stored in your OneDrive account. So because you're studying at university, you should have access to a OneDrive account. Go ahead, get that Word document from your account, and then go to My Grammarly. And where it says new here, we've got an upload button. So I'm going to click on upload now. I have already got this poor writing example essay sitting in my Word document here. I'm going to open that and it's going to open it within Grammarly. Now the first thing that will pop up is this tool that will allow you to set some goals. So depending on the kind of writing you're trying to do, you could tick some of these, and the idea is that Grammarly would give you some more specific advice in the interface about how you might want to modify your writing. I'm just going to leave this as it is for now though and click on done. And we can see that there's a number of different things that Grammarly has picked up. So it's picked up on some spelling mistakes as well, but it's also looked to some extent at the context of my writing to give me some advice which I can either choose to accept or ignore. So for instance here, the word cultural, it's suggesting that perhaps this isn't the word I want to use in the context of this sentence, even though it is spelled correctly. And it's absolutely right, I do want to use the word culture, so I can fix that just by clicking on culture and it will move on to the next one. Or I can just click about within my document. I can jump back up to this example for relate. So now I can read this description here and I can make a decision about whether I want to fix it by putting in to, or whether actually Grammarly has made a suggestion that I don't quite agree with and I want to remove that. So you still have to use your own discretion to choose whether the modification that you want Grammarly to make is something that you actually want to do, but at least possible changes are being flagged up so you can critically analyze the statements below the suggested changes. Just to show you, I'm going to click on the bin icon here, and that's going to ignore that now and move it on to the next item. Now, if you really disagree with the suggestion that Grammarly has made, you can click on this little flag here and you can actually click on incorrect suggestion, and that will update Grammarly accordingly. You can even flag offensive content if you think that the suggestion is actually offensive. And also, if you want a bit more information about the statement here, you can click on these three little dots and it will give you a much longer description of why it's picked up that specific phrase. So again, it's not going to be clever enough to give you correct suggestions 100% of the time, but it's still really valuable to use Grammarly, and I think this is one of the better tools that does this kind of thing. This interface is just going to give you the focus that you'll need to critically analyze whether your word choice is correct. You can also click on these headings at the side so that you can specifically look at spelling mistakes that have been flagged up or grammar change suggestions, as well as punctuation and conventions. Although looking at this in more detail, I can see that it is suggesting American English conventions. So one of the things that you won't want to forget to do is to go and click here in the top left-hand corner of the screen. That'll just pop you back to the previous window, and it will have saved all of your changes in your uploaded Word document. Go to Profile, go to Language Preference, and we can see that we can change from American English to British English. Now, if I go back to my Grammarly and I jump back into my poor writing examples, I should find that once it's done its check and had a look through for changes that it needs to make, that it should no longer be flagging up % in the same way. So let's click on Correct with Assistant. Do a quick search. I'm going to do Control and F on the keyboard for % with a space in the middle. And we can see that Grammarly has not put a red underline underneath it and flagged it up this time. So there's a lot of great stuff that you can take advantage of in the free version. What you won't be able to access is this plagiarism checker down at the bottom. So because we're in a free account, you can't take advantage of that. And you will find that although the interface is identical to the premium version, that it's not giving you all of the possible changes that it could potentially make. So here we are, it's saying that there's some other premium alerts that it wants to give you, but there's still a lot of changes that Grammarly's picked out, which I think are really, really helpful. So once you've done with this document, you can click back to my Grammarly and we can actually download this document back onto your computer. You can pop it back into your OneDrive and then you can keep working on it on a different computer. Now, of course, instead of doing that, you could just keep it uploaded in your Grammarly account and then log into your Grammarly account when you get home and keep on writing in this interface until you're happy to export it into a Word document later on.